Hello, everyone. My name is Matt Doar. I'm an Adaptavist. I'm the head toolsmith there. And today we have Dave. Dave,
Howdy.
tell us a bit about
Is
yourself.
it? Hi, I'm Dave Liao. I've been in the Atlassian community for officially for 4 years, just
Oh,
recently.
only four
And
years. Seems
yeah,
longer, Dave.
only four. I've been part of it for longer, but
Right.
without the label. And I've been working for companies for a while, helping them with their various Atlassian stacks, implementations, and making sure that their tools are nice and shiny and helping their teams get what they need done.
Got it. So, can you tell us what a typical workday would look like for you these days?
These days. Uh, Super mad. But it's controlled chaos.
Hmm.
Uh, it's a triage of internal chats, tickets, and then whatever else ends up across my radar, making sure that nothing's on fire, where I have to drop everything. And then if there are no fires, then I can focus on any quick operational tasks, or I can start working on my planned project work. So those are the dimensions I care about.
Right. So everything from immediate to long term and in between. Um, I know
Exactly.
I know from previous comments and other things you said that the ScriptRunner product is something that you find very useful in doing all of those different kinds of tasks. Can you tell us a bit more about what it is about ScriptRunner that draws you to it?
100%. I've been using ScriptRunner for so long that I can't remember. I think it was free when I started using it.
That is a long
Um,
time ago.
yeah, ooh, aging myself. Uh, but yeah, I use ScriptRunner for fulfilling really strange and interesting customer requirements it's my Swiss Army knife for my
Mhm.
day-to-day. Just recently, I had to do a migration from one. I was squishing custom fields together. We were Marie Kondoing custom fields, and you can bulk add values into a custom field using
Mhm.
ScriptRunner instead of using a squirrely CSV import. So I love using ScriptRunner to save time for a lot of the tasks that I need to do.
Right. That was my experience as well when I was doing the Jira admin all the time was that it stopped me having to write plugins or, as you say, squirrely CSV. That's a very good
Yeah.
description. Yeah, there were just a whole bunch of things that you could end up doing. And I would once a week, I'd be thinking, oh yeah, I can do that with a script runner script. And I don't
Oh
have
yeah.
to maintain it. And if I do, I know it's going to be there over each migration and each upgrade.
Hmm. I
So,
love impersonating users
oh yes, oh, that's a huge one, isn't it?
for non-squirrely reasons.
No, I know
It's
they,
it's logged in the audit log, but
right.
sometimes you have to troubleshoot very strange things. So
Yeah.
all these features are great.
I remember some of the things I would come across would be I need to add a particular condition to 80 different permission schemes or something. Then the things that I could divide out and have an intern do, but it's so much more efficient just to automate and be able to script it.
Ooh.
So those are some of the good uses of ScriptRunner and what other customers that Adaptavists have often pay for. Um, what about the things that make you regularly more productive? There's the one-off sort of use of ScriptRunner, but what about the repeated uses?
Huh. Besides bulk fixing things, which I feel like
Hmm.
is a lot of my days, bulk
And
fixing
I guess
resolutions.
not even as an admin. What are the things that you can do with ScriptRunner that make your users more productive in their use of Jira or Confluence?
Oh, yeah. Um, Behaviors have definitely helped with
Right.
keeping our data clean. So, whenever we have folks that need, they have issues that are created by their stakeholders, behaviors lets us show the fields that are only necessary, sets fields as required when they need to be required versus always being required. And I think my favorite use for behaviors is what I call writing prompts, but the templates that you would put inside of a description field, any text field. So,
Mhm.
it's not just an empty description when you're writing a story, but you might want to have a couple of those bullet points to kind of jog your memory of the things that you want to include when you're writing an issue.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think another one that I love is the tell me what I've done wrong. on this page more than just, it's gone red and it's got an asterisk to it. Like, tell me exactly what you want in this field so I can go forward on my workflow.
Yes, yes. So when you're writing those mystery conditions, they are
Yeah,
less of a mystery.
yeah, yeah. All right. What about, can you recall any really weird thing that you've done with ScriptRunner that you
Ah,
can tell us about?
uh, I wouldn't say, well, a little weird. Um,
Okay.
one of the things we've been experimenting with is, I believe you call them, were they renamed recently? But having little blobs of HTML on the page, fragments.
Fragments, that's
I
right.
hope they're still called fragments, right?
They are.
Yeah. Uh, Having those are useful if you need to keep a project around and you need people to see the tickets that were in that project, but you need to steer them towards somewhere else. So like this is for reference, but
Mhm.
it's just that for a limited amount of time. I found those web content, those little fragments to be useful to steer users in certain ways, driving the helping with the usability of a specific Jira project. So when you're at a certain state in a ticket's life cycle in the workflow, you can say, all right, now it's time for you to go to QA. But you're gonna have to like add QA testers before you enter that state. So like hopefully you have that ready. So pre-flight checklists, things like that are useful to have in like a little panel on the side. I found
Yeah.
that useful for Jira Data Center.
Yeah, and I like the way that we can customize people's experiences down to the group and the role levels as well. And for a particular company
100%.
or an organization, that's a very powerful ability with making Jira even more useful to an organization.
Oh
So
yeah.
I guess that leads to the obvious question. Um, what about what are the things that you wish were there? Are there any things that you think, oh gosh,
And
wouldn't it be nice if ScriptRunner did this?
it's funny that I just mentioned Jira Data Center, and I think we talked about this in another forum. But in Jira Cloud,
Mm.
using behaviors, script runner behaviors in cloud is, I think, a delightful experience, as delightful as you can get with script runner, in that you have, this, but I'm mentioning this for the folks that don't know this. Um, when you are setting up a behavior in Jira Cloud, it is very curated. You're guided down a
Mhm.
path and you have different paths you can go down. So it's kind of like, do you want to go down the garden or to the swimming pool? And
Right.
then like, how many steps do you want? There's constraints. So it's kind of nice. Versus in data center, you can kind of do anything. So you're just staring at this blank canvas and I'm like, I don't really know where I want to go. I could use those constraints.
Yeah,
That would be
that's
nice.
interesting. How much guidance do you want in using a tool? And
Right.
that's a good point. I think a lot of people who've been using ScriptRunner for a long time just kind of know now what you can do.
Right.
And it does need some guidance for people who, yeah, haven't had the experience or in a lot of cases haven't had as much code experience as well. Because it's
Exactly.
scripting, but minimal scripting. So the things like Happy that have come out within the
Yes.
last year make it easier, um, but not no code. Definitely not a no code thing.
Right. I'd love
Hmm.
to be able to move from the advanced search to the basic search once in a while versus just being stuck in advanced.
Yeah, yeah. Though it's been a long while since basic search. Anyway, that whole discussion that we could have. What's another thought I have about Script Runner? Oh, um, are you responsible for choosing which plugins or apps get installed into your local Atlassian products?
I do have a say. I guess you'd say I don't want to use the word influencer because that sounds awful. Uh, I do have influence in decisions
Yeah.
when it comes to the add-ons that we use in our various instances.
Right. And obviously you've chosen to install ScriptRunner at a cost because it's not the cheapest tool on the market. Um,
It's not, but the value that we get from it, and Adaptavist has been in the community for so long. Like they're a household name. And you
right.
didn't even pay me to say that. You can cut that out. Adaptavist is
Send you the
absolutely a
t-shirt.
household name.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's like it's strange when I see a Jira instance without ScriptRunner. I'm just like, what? Who
I
hurt
know
you?
what you mean. Yeah. Hey, there's something
Right?
missing there. Where's he gone?
Right. I want to
Yeah,
be able to create a custom field full of our local servers. Like, what am I going to do without ScriptRunner?
no, it's very true. It's very true. Yeah. Well, that's good. So those are all interesting, but I want to get a bit broader as well. I would ask people
Okay.
this. Are you able to explain what you do day to day to your friends and family and that sort of circle outside of technical work? What do you say to them?
I think it depends. It depends. In general, I'd say like 60% of the time I can explain my job.
Hmm,
And then, should I go down that one story that I mentioned to you before?
sure. Yeah, why not?
All right. Yeah. I think the best way I've been able to describe my job, once I was part of a science fair at an elementary school. I thought I was going to be explaining my job to a bunch of sixth or seventh graders.
Mhm.
Um, but it turns out when I arrived, it was to second graders.
Mhm.
So I had the
Very different.
joy of simplifying. Yeah, I had to simplify my job description, and so I told the kids that I design virtual offices. And this was during the pandemic. So,
Oh, right.
when someone is finished with a report, when they're finished with a ticket and is ready to be tested,
Yeah.
where do you move the report? I bring it over to that person's desk and I leave it there and I ring a bell. That I wire up in Jira. So, designing virtual offices, I thought was kind of a nice way of
I think
describing
that's
my
great. Yeah, I
my
think
job.
that's and it ties in very closely with the way that Atlassian presents their set of tools as well. It's a teamwork collaboration sort of
Oh
thing.
yeah.
And wherever it's happening, whether it's physical or virtual, that's what they're aiming to make the whole experience easier. Yeah, good. Did they get it? Did they like that?
They did, and then they were asking if I got freebies from my company.
If they had been sixth or seventh graders, their first question will be, "How much do you make then? How about come on, tell me your salary?" Because I've done
I
those
was
career
working for a
advance.
streaming service, and they were like, "Do you get free streaming plus?" And I'm like,
Well, yeah,
"I
not
do."
not insignificant. Okay. Well, I think that was all the ideas I had that I wanted to ask you questions about. Was there anything that you wanted to ask me or make an observation on, or
Ask you in public?
why not? I mean, post edit's going
No,
to
no,
do what
no,
it
no.
wants with this.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. No.
Okay, that's just
Not gonna
fine.
make you work. But I would like to say publicly that I I've always enjoyed Adaptavist products and their people. And I'm happy that I get to work with folks like you. So
That's great. Thank you.
hey, like thank you for that. Thank
Yeah,
you for giving me this opportunity to speak.
you are welcome.